guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliette and I'm going to be channeling your angels, ancestors, and guides. And let's just get right into it. Spirit guides actually telling me to do 2 piles for this reading. So you can either choose, let's see here, this carnelian, or this golden healer. So here are your options. Go ahead and choose one, and then we'll get to your pile. Alright. Pile 1. Let's get into your reading. Okay, we'll start there. Princess of Cups followed by the Sun underneath the deck. So it seems like you are finding fulfillment in an opportunity very soon. You're going to be in the sun energy, and what that means is that you're going to be shining, you're going to be seen, you're going to be feeling very joyous and just filled with energy, okay? And this is going to actually bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment. I think this is what has been missing in your life, just that a source of energy, right? It, like outside of you just needed another source of energy, and that is exactly what's coming. 8 of Wands signifies that it's coming in pretty quick, and you're not going to have to work hard towards it. With the 8 of Pentacles coming up, you're not going to have to work hard to receive what this is, because this is based off of the work you've already done for yourself. And so now you're going to be getting kind of a just like a lot of your manifestations all in one go. And so it's kind of big energy, it's kind of really bright, but Spirit's telling me that it's necessary because you have not been feeling victorious in your life. You haven't felt like you've had a win in a while, and you're starting to wonder, you're starting to ask Spirit, like, what's going on? Am I doing something wrong? Am I not seeing something correctly? Am I not healing something? So you're just questioning a lot about yourself. And so Spirit's just like trying to make you stop because they know like you will work kind of endlessly to get to where you want to be and to get what you want, right? And so Spirit's like saying like, no, just like enjoy where you are, enjoy what you're doing, because what you're doing is good for you already. It was just that these manifestations, there was a blockage, but it's cleared out now. Clearly with this, like all energy is just going forward and it's going straight towards you. And this is going to bring a lot of emotional fulfillment, something that you've been asking for a long time. And now it's coming. Now it's going to be here in your life. And so Spirit's saying like, just prepare for that, like everything you've kind of been manifesting. If you've been wanting to go on a certain trip, you're probably going to get to do that. So you should definitely like, not buy a bunch of stuff, but start thinking about what is necessary for a trip that you want to go on. What if it's like a beach trip? Make sure you have the right essentials for that. If it's a mountain trip, make sure you have the right equipment for that. It's just that kind of stuff. Okay, a bunch of cards came out, so let me organize this. 2 of Wands, 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this literally has very little to do with your mental. This has nothing to do with your thinking, because even, 6 of Wands is in reverse. And so 2 of Wands in reverse, you don't need to make a decision here. And this is not going to affect your foundation. This is literally just kind of like, it's the world coming back into balance for you. That's exactly what it is. Everything you've been manifesting, everything you've been working hard towards, it's all happening now. Because why? You deserve it. And you don't need to put extra work into anything. And you don't need to make a decision on anything either. There's no balancing out that you need to do. There's nothing new that you need to receive in order to reach this King of Cups state. Oh, with the Queen of Cups in reverse, or with right behind it. So you got the two suits of cups right here. So you're going to be extremely emotionally balanced in this next coming chapter of your life. It's not even like a time limit per se. It's just now you're going to approach life in a much more emotionally calm way, emotionally fulfilled way. Maybe before, there was that energy of reaching that people could feel out of you, even if that wasn't your intention. Like, I think other people's intuition could pick up that you felt like you were lacking something. And so what you did was you went into a moment of really looking at what you have after everything, like you're just looking at what you have and seeing where you can go from there. And for a while, you did lack courage to move forward. I think the last chapter was just so daunting. It was just so heavy that you couldn't really. Oh, yeah. It was heavy because you were, lamenting over past love that went sour. You were just focused on where things didn't go the way you wanted it to. And there was a struggle there because I think normally when you manifest something, it goes kind of the way that you want it to. And that's how you know you're going in the right direction. But this time, this last cycle with the person, you realize that you're just never going to get what you want because they knew what you wanted and they purposefully withheld it from you. And so there was a lot of you had to learn how to detach. That's the thing. It was detachment that you needed to learn because maybe before, your emotions really were dependent on what you received and what you didn't. And it left you in a very emotionally volatile state. It would go up, down, because it would depend on exterior things, right? Now you've learned with the star, the star is like after the Tower card. So you have to understand the star really focuses on the self, what the self can provide for you in this moment, not what others can do for you, what you can do for yourself. And you had to be in that energy so you could learn how to not depend on other things for your emotional stability, right? And now you're really coming out of it. You're really starting to see just how stable you are, just how balanced you are, and everything's coming into balance now, right? The world is, your inner world and your outer world are finally making sense. They're finally clicking. Things are finally enmeshing together in a way that seems very natural, seems very you're just intuitively led to that kind of space. So that's really all I have for you, Pile 1. I hope that the message helped you in any way. If it did, go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you like the way I read. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so you guys got the Four of Pentacles in reverse as the energy of this reading. So you're feeling stability just isn't there in the physical world. I think what you really want is stability in the physical world, but your spirit guides are really wanting you to focus on your inner world, right? The more we feel called to focus on our outer world, sometimes it's like a weird convoluted way to come back to ourselves in a deeper way. And so spirit is saying you're striving for outer world balance because your inner world needs balance. And so the Prince of Wands in reverse as your first card, followed by the Four of Cups in reverse. I'm seeing that you haven't really known which direction to go to. You haven't really been able to really put all your energy into one avenue of your life. And because of this, you've been kind of wearing yourself thin, and it's causing you to feel like you need rest. But maybe your exterior world is telling you that you don't need rest, that you need to keep moving forward. But Spirit is saying that there is beauty in this moment of rest. There is something to learn from this moment. It's not that you need to go out there to learn your lessons. Sometimes there are lessons that you need to learn internally, in your own space, in solitude, right? With the Star, you guys shared a lot of cards with the first pile, but I'm getting a completely different energy here. And that's probably why Spirit wanted me to split this into 2 readings. You guys, there is importance in the darkness, okay? You guys have been through a massive upheaval, and right now is not the time to just start anew everything. You know, it's time to go back within and see what is there. See what you can do with what is available to you. Don't go out there and reach for more. See if you can balance what you already have. And that's what Spirit really wants you to do with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. You feel like there's no balance. You feel like there's no balance. And that's because your inner world is out of balance. And what this might signify is that maybe you guys don't really do well with rest. Maybe you guys are more in your masculine sun energy where it's go, go, go. And then eventually something makes sense and then you just keep going. But Spirit is saying rest, because there is wisdom yet that hasn't been claimed yet. Okay, there's wisdom in you. Okay, that's the High Priestess. You're not seeing it clearly, and it's not your fault. You know, this is never to point a finger that you're doing something wrong. It's just to really let you know what is happening internally with yourself. And so don't think of it as Spirit calling you out. It's Spirit kind of like taking your head and just like, look at it. This is you. This is nobody else. Okay, this is nobody else to push you to do anything. This is all you. This is your energy, what you can do with your life. And yes, it's overwhelming when we feel like we're out of control and we feel like we don't have the ability to take control of our life. And I know it sounds frustrating at times because I can feel the frustration building up, but the frustration doesn't come from hearing what you already know. The frustration is still holding on to what you already know that you need to let go of, right? 10 of Wands is all the burdens that you've carried, all of the burdens that are outside of you, regardless if they are needed to take care of or not. I'm sorry, that was bad English, but regardless if those things are the utmost priority or not, they are still burdens that you carry. And you need to really just understand that you're carrying a lot and have more sympathy for yourself, have more understanding for what you're going through. Because right now, it's not about you putting in the work. It's not about that, because you putting in the work is actually devil energy. It's what you're used to. It's what you've been taught. It's what you've known, right? So when you are met with an experience that doesn't give you what you want, you tend to push even harder. And you tend to go even harder. And what Spirit is really asking you is like, things can balance out for you with the world. Things can really balance out for you, but only if you focus on what is in you. Okay, I'm sorry for the nudity YouTube, but it happens sometimes. There is something in you that wants to grow, that wants your attention, and it has something to do with what you kind of are are crying over. And not as in like you're feeling like you're left out in the cold. It's not that kind of energy. It's a confusion over all your options and not choosing the right one for you, right? Because there's a cup with worms, and then there's a cup with a rose, and then there's a cup with a crown, and there's, Seven of Cups is all about your options in life in general, not just love, but in life. And sometimes we choose the cup that we think is going to bring us our fulfillment, and sometimes it doesn't really work out that way. Right? And instead of pushing like you normally would, Spirit's really urging you to simply put it down. Put it down. I don't know if you've ever experienced just kind of like, oh, this avenue isn't working for me. Let me just take a moment to myself. Let me recenter myself so that I can make decisions based off of a calmer state of mind, a calmer nervous system. So that way I make choices that I know are actually good for me and not just something that's going to fulfill me in that second, in that moment. There's a very different energy when we choose things. And it's really based off of our inner world, how we feel about ourselves, what we feel like we're doing well and what we're not doing well, where we feel like we're lacking and where we have surplus. It's really just make sure that when you have to make decisions, make that decision from a state of calm. And if you're not calm, then it's not the time to make a decision. And if someone wants you to make a decision when you're not calm, well, that's just they're out of luck, because you need to be in a calm state to make a decision, and that's final. Right? People cannot make you volatile and then expect you to decide something right on the spot. That's not fair. That's really it's like pressure. That's like peer pressure. We've already outgrown that, right? As adults, we don't do that anymore. So what you're doing, what you're being called to do is relax, is to take a breather and to come back into yourself, because the world can wait. The world's always going to be there. I promise. It will keep moving on with you or without you. And that's just the truth. And it's not to harm you, but it's to remind you that you are not the center of the universe. Even if it feels like it, the world will still continue whether you're in it or not. And it sounds harsh, but there's actually like a sense of like letting go of those burdens, because when you realize you're not the center of the world, you're just like, oh, okay, then I'll just take care of myself. I'll focus on me. And everyone can focus on themselves. And that's really how it should be. But people that have had to deal with a lot of burdens, they forget, because they get acclimated to a certain level of stress. They've learned to deal with a certain amount of burdens on a daily basis. And so they forget that really their only responsibility is themselves at the end of the day. Even if you have a kid, you still need to come correct for that kid. You still need to be a good version of yourself for that kid. You can't be a burned out version that's wearing yourself way too thin, because the kid's going to see that, learn from it, and then kind of do the same thing in their life when they grow up. Right? That's what we deal with right now. That's what we're unlearning, what we've been taught. Right? So realize that, like, if you're a parent, really taking care of yourself is a priority, because you're teaching your kid like, hey, this is how you treat yourself. This is how you treat your own avatar. This is the type of burden you're allowed to put on yourself. And this is the type of burden you're not allowed to put on yourself. Right. I think I used to be an overachiever. I put way too many burdens on myself because I saw my mom do that growing up. And of course, I see her as, the biggest warrior, like life warrior I've ever seen. She's so strong, but I don't want to be strong. I want to just be me. I don't want to be the most successful. I just want to have success. I don't want to let my life be determined by how many accolades I receive or how much I push myself. I just want to be me, and I want to experience a life that is meant for me. And there's a quieter energy with that kind of lifestyle, but that's what I chose for myself once I awakened, right? Because what I was choosing for myself before I awoke was a life that my mom was living. And like, that's no shade to her. It's just that I've learned that I don't want to live that way. And it's not that it's because I just don't want to be like her. It's like, no, I look up to her. I see her strengths, but I've also seen how much she's struggled because of how strong she wants to come off by holding all these burdens from other people that don't necessarily need to be held. I don't mind being called weak. I don't mind being called sensitive, because I would rather be deemed as sensitive than insensitive. I'd rather be deemed as lazy than work my butt off for what? Validation? I don't want that. And so you guys might be in that stage of rearranging your life to fit what you want. And the most important thing when we're in this stage is to actually sit and be still and be calm and be at peace, so that we actually know what we want and not what we're just striving to get. It's very different. So pile 2, that's all I have for you. If this message helped you in any way, go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe if you like the way I read, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.